Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fury Boys Racing Channel. I'm John, and this is my hill climb sprint car. Well, we just got back from the Pocono shootout, and I got a lot to bring you guys up to speed on. And so I'm gonna turn this camera around and get started. So as you can see, the car is relatively in one piece. I took the hood off. It's about the only thing that's missing in that panel down there. There's a few things that I wanted to test this weekend, and I had some success. I had some not so successful things. The first thing I found out is the shifter. It takes a lot of juice per shift, and that takes a good chunk out of the battery life. The shifter also had some issues, and what that was basically is, I think it's a timing thing, or maybe the brackets need adjusted. Not really sure just yet, but what's happening is I will be able to select some gears, and then others will get caught between what we think is getting caught between the gears and getting hung up on the dogs of each gear. That's foreign stuff to me. I don't know really what's going on inside of that box, but I got to figure it out. Anyway, moving on. One big, huge success was the rear suspension. It worked flawlessly. I put a lot of time and effort into that, and I had a lot of help from friends, and I just couldn't be happier about that. The other thing I kind of found out, now I'm not sure if I want to just drive the car this way or what, but every time I go into a turn, because I have a straight axle, it three-wheels, well, just a little bit. But it's pretty cool. I know that there's a lot of cool cars back in the day that used to do the same thing, and I'm used to doing it in sprint cars. So if you just wheel the hell out of it, then, you know, it's fast too. However, we're gonna have to test that theory. More to come on that. But anyway, I got a lot more to do here. I'm gonna do a deep dive inspection and go over the entire car. I'm going to drain the fluids out of pretty much everything and examine all of those, and I will bring you guys up to speed. Okay, so really good news. There is nothing wrong with the transmission. I stuck my bore scope in there and looked around, and it looked super clean. All the fluid was all clean, and I checked the plug, which has a magnet on it. That looked clean. You might see some dirt in the bottom of that pan, but that was already there. So I'm going to keep moving on the inspection here, and so hopefully everything's good. So one of the problems I came across on my first run was the breather on this valve cover was kicking out a lot of blowby. There was nothing wrong with the engine. I think the breather was just mounted in the wrong spot. So one of the officials told me that after my first run, and what I did was I rigged up this system that I got here. This is just a regular hose, and then my breather is actually underneath all of this mess, and then it's zip tied in place so that it didn't get in the way of the throttle linkage. This microfiber basically was just a secondary line of defense, if you will. from the actual breather. And I didn't have any more problems for the rest of the weekend. And what I'm going to do is switch over to a catch can, and that should solve that whole issue. So one thing that we had a lot of success with was the rear suspension. Everything worked out really, really well. The rear end, the Watts link, the torque tube, torque ball, and the fake motor plate for the whatever you want to call that piece. That all worked really, really well. I appreciate all the help that I had from multiple people on making that happen. So wanted to at least address the things that we did well on, and that was a big one. So I did check some things, and I did test a few things as far as the tires went, mainly just tire pressures. I didn't really get into any in-depth research on what is going to work for this package. However, from a driver's standpoint, I could not get these tires to break loose, which for me, that's a really good thing. But we'll see how that affects the car later on. That may not be a good thing. Sometimes you do want the car to slide just a little bit. Sometimes by having all that grip, it can tear up your driveline. And then also cause other problems like stress on your chassis and stuff like that. Another thing that I'm pretty happy about is making this 4-pan a little bit quicker to remove. I put a lot of nut certs in for the actual 4-pan itself and for all of the things that tie into it. Also, it allows me to get in and inspect the clutch and everything else that is under here pretty quickly, and it also allows me to service the transmission. As you can see, the drain plug is back there, but it works out pretty well. So one of the bigger issues that I needed to fix, and seemed to be an easy fix, was moving the location of where this handle starts in its range. What I was doing during the shootout, it started a lot further back, like right about here. And then when I pulled it back, I quickly ran out of elbow room. Oh, sorry. So as you can see there, it's pretty tight. And then if I go too far back, then I run into a bar. So I needed to get that moved forward quite a bit. So I just extended the push rod that goes into the master cylinder here. And by doing that, it allowed me to rotate this handle up further, and now I have a perfect amount of range. It stops right here, and it's not very hard to pull because my muscles that are out further here are definitely a lot stronger than if they were back here. So it is a little bit heavy, but I mean, you don't see me struggling too much in my voice. So but anyway, here's a little perspective of what the cockpit looks like from inside of it. Not sure if I've ever shared that before. So just to quickly go through the runs at the Pocono shootout. The first run was basically just a shakedown run. I think it was our best run simply because we found out the most information from that run. I got a couple good straightaways in there. I felt like I was starting to understand the suspension by the end of the lap. And I was just, building confidence as a driver, because that is, not a car that you can learn to drive easily, having a hand clutch and having the shifter all integrated into one. So there are going to be a couple things that we're going to change. We're going to do like a no-lift shift type of situation where it's going to cut the ignition during the shifts. Mikey McCracken is going to help me out with that. We got an appointment coming soon for that, so hopefully we can get that knocked out and figure out any other issues that we're having with the shifter. But on the second, third, and fourth run, I wasn't really able to string together a complete lap, but I found a lot of potential in the car, and I found a lot of things that we need to change, and that's all progress, and it's all positive. So all in all, I would call the whole trip a big success, even though we came back with a list of things that we need to fix. So I need to start working on those issues that I had and improve anything else that I can. I'm going to either have to order materials or parts, depending on what solutions I come up with for these issues. But until then, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.